Welcome back everyone, my name is Tucker, this is Sporting Logically, and today I've got some of the craziest NBA stats that you will ever see from this season. These numbers show everything from just how much the league has changed in recent years, all the way to a certain team that is in danger of becoming one of the worst teams in league history in a specific statistical category. Keep in mind that obviously the season isn't over yet, so I'll be talking about the stats as of March 15th, as that is when I did research for the video. I can't wait to share these with you guys, so let's get going. Number 1. Alright, so let's talk about minutes per game. Giannis currently leads the NBA in minutes per game at 37.2, just barely edging out Jimmy Butler. That's an impressive workload for a player to take on a night-to-night basis. But if you look back at the minutes per game stats from past NBA seasons, you'd be shocked by how much the league has changed. When you look back at every NBA season, from the beginning of the league all the way through the 2008-2009 season, Giannis's league-leading 37.2 minutes per game mark would be outside the top 20 players in the league in every one of those seasons. In fact, if it holds up, Giannis's 37.2 mark would be the least minutes per game of any player to ever lead the league in that category in NBA history. Number 2. Sticking with minutes, so far this season LeBron James has averaged 37 per game, which is third in the league. Again, impressive. But now let me give you a list of names from the 2007 to 2008 season. Chris Kaman, Monte Ellis, Raymond Felton, David West, Gerald Wallace, Rashard Lewis, and Richard Jefferson. Those are just a handful of players that averaged more minutes in that season a decade ago than the 4-time MVP averages for the Cavs this season. Number 3. Alright, enough about minutes. Let's talk about arguably the biggest way the league has changed as we have transitioned to a more modern NBA, three-point shooting. In a league in which many teams are regularly shooting 30-plus threes per game, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been the most three-averse team in the league this season, shooting a league-low 22.3 per game. Compared to the rest of the league, that seems incredibly low. But once again, looking back at past NBA seasons, you'll see just how differently the game is now played. Even though the Timberwolves sit at the bottom of the league this season, that 22.3 per game mark would put them in the top 5 of any other season in the NBA all the way through the 2011-12 season. Number 4. In a league that is now so focused on the three-point shot, one of the best players in the league at using that shot to his advantage is Steph Curry. But let's talk about his free throws. Curry is averaging a career-high 5.9 free throw attempts per game this season, which is only the second time he's averaged more than 5 per game in his career. But those low free throw numbers in past seasons haven't stopped Steph from being in the top 10 in scoring, something he has done 4 times when averaging less than 5 free throw attempts per game. This is incredibly impressive because most great NBA scorers rely on getting to the line for a good amount of their points. Essentially, if you want to be a top per game scorer in the NBA, you need to get to the line a lot. To prove my point, since 2000 there have been 184 individual player seasons that were ranked in the top 10 in the league in scoring, 18 times 10 plus 4 ties for the 10th spot. And only 10 times have those players attempted less than 5 free throws per game. Steph has 4, Ray Allen has 2, while Allen Houston, Antoine Walker, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Klay Thompson each have 1. I'm cheating here a bit because this isn't technically about this season, but I have to put one more thing on here, then I'll shut up about Steph. I mentioned that he averaged over 5 free throw attempts only one other time in his career to this point. That was his MVP-winning 2015-16 season, in which he averaged 30.1 points per game, which led the league, but he only shot 5.1 free throws per game that year. Here's a list of other players in the history of the NBA that have ever led the league in scoring or averaged over 30 points per game in a single season, shooting as few free throws as Steph Curry that season. None. Trust me, I checked the leading scorer for every season in league history and every 30-point scorer in league history, and it's never happened. Number 5. Sticking with our theme of shooting here, as I mentioned, the volume of three-point shots per game by team has seen a huge increase in the last few years, which means more players are taking more threes per game than ever before. Here's a few stats to illustrate that. There are 21 qualified players shooting at least 7 threes per game this season, which would be an NBA record if it holds up. But the increase in shots from behind the arc isn't just from perimeter players, as there are 7 players that are listed as centers that are shooting at least 4 threes a game, which would also be an NBA record. Number 6. Along with that huge increase in outside shots, there's been a league-wide emphasis on pace and playing faster than there has been at any other time in the 2000s. This season alone, there are 11 teams that average more than 40 made shots per game. That number matches the same number of teams that averaged more than 40 made shots per game from 2005 to 2015 combined. That's an incredible illustration of how much faster the game is played now. Number 7. Alright, now we turn to a team that is either near the bottom of the league standings or near the top of the Tankathon sweepstakes, depending on your perspective. The Sacramento Kings. Things certainly haven't gone well for the Kings as a team this year, though they do have some developing young talent and will surely add more in the offseason. Unfortunately for them, however, they have been worse than nearly every other team in league history in one specific category so far this season: free throw attempts per game. The Kings shoot the least amount of free throws per game this season at 17.1, and it isn't all that close. That mark would be the third lowest in NBA history if it holds up. Number 8. Now from the negative to a bit more of a gray area, I guess. I wouldn't say that Russell Westbrook is one of my favorite players in the league, but looking through his stats is always an interesting exercise. This is simply because there's such a wide variety of opinions on how much Westbrook's reckless style of play and record-breaking statistical performances actually help his team. For this one, I'll just stay out of the debate and give you some numbers to consider. This season, Westbrook has 21 triple-doubles. The Thunder are 16-5 in those games. He has also scored 30 or more points 24 times, and the Thunder are 12-12 in those games. Lastly, he's had 7 or more turnovers in a game 18 times, which resulted in a 10-8 record for his team. That seems to paint a pretty clear picture. I'm interested to see your guys' take on these numbers in the comments though. Number 9. For the last two, let's talk about the new guys to the league. The rookies. There are currently 3 rookies averaging over 15 points per game, which hasn't happened since the 09-10 season. Donovan Mitchell leads the way for this group and is shooting 16.6 shots per game as a rookie, the most since Blake Griffin in the 2010-11 season. Other players to shoot more than 16 shots per game as a rookie since 2000, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, and Tyreek Evans. That's impressive company to keep, although at 19.7 points per game, Mitchell has the lowest rookie scoring average of that group. Number 10. Maybe even more impressive than the scoring of this year's rookie class, there are 2 truly gifted passers that have entered the league this year as well. Ben Simmons and Lonzo Ball are both averaging over 7 assists per game as rookies. The only other rookies to average 7+ assists per game since 2000 are Jamal Tinsley, Chris Paul, John Wall, and Ricky Rubio. Again, that's pretty good company to keep. And that is going to be the end of the list. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then leaving a like rating down below is a great way to let me know, and if you'd like to see more videos just like this, check out a few that are popping up on the screen now, and consider subscribing to Sporting Logically for more content each week. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.